Hello, yes, great and glorious Nick Dutch here yet again, back on the camera. Okay, not quite sure what I'm going to do this Christmas season. Obviously YouTube's a bit quieter now, so I might just like not do all that much in the way of videos, and then sorry, not upload all that much in the way of videos, and then do like a stream of like 100 or something stupid, then whack them all up there and see whether, like, when everyone goes back to work on like the 5th of January and everyone's bored and pissed off with dealing with the boss and they want to like have a bit of entertainment, they could like type into the internet strange, weird, occult person stroke tarot stroke all kinds of other stuff, and then they'll be able to get me and they'll have massive traffic, become a YouTube partner just like that. Wouldn't that be so cool? Anyway, I haven't really planned it out, but I just wanted to go into greater detail on the conjuration of the angel of death that I did, because I haven't done that. Obviously there's millions of natural phenomena which occur when you're doing ritual work. We don't, I didn't have like thousands of electrodes on my brain and throughout my whole body just to measure all the electrical conductivity and activity that was happening in my body at the time. I was not rigged up to some kind of machine to measure my vital signs. All I did was a very gentle, slow, prayerful, formulaic ritual which I designed. I chanted the numbers that were in the magical square of Saturn, as written in Transcendental Magic and other grimoires. Got to make sure the numbers are correct though, because some of them have errors in the calculation, so you got to make sure that's correct. And I just chanted them one row at a time, for a time. Okay. I did all this wearing a silly little robe to make myself feel monastic, and that was made out of a very good quality of tightly knitted wool, so it was actually quite warm. I had a ceremonial spear which I made myself out of a bit of wood. I'm not sure if I bought it or stolen it from a wood merchant many years ago. Either way, they somehow didn't want it, and so I ended up with it, and I just carved stuff. I just call it stuff, because it was like the 7 planetary signs, the word Raphael to speak about, the archangel who deals with magic and that sort of stuff into it. Why? Because that's theatricals, okay? It doesn't mean to say you have to do things like that. I made myself a little altar-y thing that was made from basically an old packing case, and I painted that white, and I put some blue cloth around that, of course, blue and white holy colors, talking about like the sky and the clouds. So I thought that would put me in a holy state of mind, because everything is about theatricals to help to generate that kind of like religious state of mind. And I had a couple of candles on my altar. I did standard circle casting, but I used the capitalist, the archangels of Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, because obviously we're talking about the summoning of an archangelic spirit. Everything was done in a very calm, peaceful state of mind. After I chanted the square a certain number of times, I then used the spear to draw the symbol of Saturn, or something similar to it, in the air 3 times. So I called forth the name Cassiel, Cassiel, Cassiel. And I asked him to appear, and I asked him to be present. And this was done prayerfully and reverently and calmly, okay? It was not done aggressively. Some books on magic say you have to use extreme states of gnosis, but they don't actually specify what that is. And you have to, I really think you got to work with that, and you got to work with different prayerful states of mind to work out which ones seem to be most efficient. And you've got to learn to be able to generate those emotions, and that's why we do everything with religious ritual, with words, with symbols, and like incense burners and candles and the rest of it. It doesn't mean to say that the incense burner, candles, ceremonial tools, or the fact I was wearing a silly robe making me look like a complete weirdo was even remotely important. Thank heavens I was doing this alone, otherwise, it's not the sort of thing I'd feel comfortable about filming and then putting on YouTube, because it would just make me look like a twit. And so, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But anyway, I'm just telling you what I did. As I mentioned in the previous video, which is entitled God Mythology Ask Nick Dutch, parts 1 and 2, I got this sensation of a message coming to me from the center of the circle after I finished the ritual and I was lying in bed. But also, There's one other phenomenon which occurred, and that was in that state halfway between sleeping and waking, which we don't always experience, but I experienced that night. I was lying on my left-hand side. I felt there was a kind of a warm weight on my thigh and on my shoulder. I couldn't quite work out what that was. Warm, tingly, sparkly, kind of electric, static kind of feeling. And I actually looked up, still in this half-awake, half-asleep state of mind. And there was a full manifestation of a skeleton, a spirit skeleton, standing there with one hand on my thigh and one hand on my shoulder. It was standing behind me, and it was anatomically correct, even down to the broken nose bone. And it was made, or seemed to be made, out of these black and red little sparkles, and slightly translucent as well. And there was a mood associated with him, that of knowledge, wisdom, and very much a paternal feeling of loving energy associated with him. So it wasn't like a Grim Reaper character. It was like God the Father, who knows that life is also about death. It's God the Father who knows that there is misery in the world, and that's just part of the cycles of life. That's the kind of emotions that came through. Again, I've got no proof that what I was seeing was an angel or a spiritual being. It's just that's what happened. And I just thought I'd just tell you this. Obviously, this is Christmas time. There's the myth of the story of the ghost of Christmas future. Maybe he was comforting me for scary things that I will be doing in the future. Who knows? But it was a very real experience. And you can make of it what you will. But all I can do is tell you, or just give you some clues as to how I made it happen. Good fortune, God bless.